Hi there, this is Chris, and today we're going to discuss how to handle sales tax exemption. In this specific video, we're going to discuss specifically how to get sales tax exemption for resale items. So this would be items that you are buying from retailers and attempting to get sales tax taken off of those purchases. Now, obviously, the easiest way to do this would be to have items shipped to states that don't have sales tax. That would be using the prep center and shipping into those states. But if you're doing a retail arbitrage or doing online arbitrage specifically to states that have sales tax, that's not exactly an option for you. So what you'll want to do is try and find a way to eliminate those sales tax. Now, some retailers just won't accept your ability to resell because they don't want you to resell. So they typically won't accept paperwork to give you discounts to begin with a sales tax. That a lot of retailers just won't do it. But there are certain retailers that will. So we're going to talk about the method that you would use to do this. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go to your specific state and get a sales and use tax license. Now, there's a lot of states out there that you should already have this anyways. If you're selling only on Amazon and eBay, a large majority of these states don't require you to have any sort of sales tax license. However, there are certain states that do. So if you do happen to fall within one of those states, then you likely should have one anyways. But anyways, beside the point, if you're looking to solve this particular problem, you will need a sales and use tax license. And what you'll want to do is just go on Google, do a search for sales and use tax, and then just stick in whatever state you're looking to do it in. Now keep in mind that you will need a different one for each state you're trying to buy in. So if you're like in the Northeast, where you have all these states very, very close to another, you will need different ones for each state. So if you're sourcing, let's say in New York, you will need a sales and use tax license in New York. And then let's say you go across the, just go right across the board to New Jersey, and you're trying to source there as well. You would also need a New Jersey one for any of the locations in New Jersey. So you would open up sales tax accounts in each of those states. Now, to open up those again, you would just search for it on Google. Typically, it'll be you're looking for a website that specifically shows that's for sales and use tax. You click on it and pretty much just open an account with the state is what you'll do. And typically, there's various instructions to show you exactly how to do it. Like right here, says first time filing, pay use tax. Typically, they'll have like links on here that show you exactly what to do to get your account set up. So you see here, first time filing, and it tells you exactly what you need to do. There's webinars, there's all sorts of good stuff, and pretty much every state does this. And so you'll want to create that account, and typically you can just do it online. And once you've created that account, then at that point you can start utilizing that sales tax ID number to be sales tax exempt. And to do that, what you would do is you get this nice little certificate that gives you a number that tells you that you're sales tax exempt. And a lot of places will allow you to use that resale form depending on where you're doing it. If they don't, then what you do is you do a search for, it's called multi-jurisdictional resale certificate. And the first link that comes on here is a multi-state tax commission. You click on this, and you'll see here where it's this big highlighted thing right here. It says Uniform Sales and Use Tax Resale Certificate, Multi-Jurisdiction Form. You click on this, and this is designed for pretty much every state that is using sales tax. So you see they're all listed here. And this is one form that you can use effectively for every state. So if you're in that situation we talked about earlier where you're doing New York and New Jersey, you can put both of your state registration IDs for both New Jersey and New York on this form. And this is a form that you can fill out for every single retailer that you're trying to use for this purpose. So that's what you would do for situations where you're trying to get sales tax exempt. Now, let's say, for example, you have retailers that you talk to them and they're like, no, we don't accept resale licenses. You have to pay sales tax. Well, now you're kind of in a little more of a dicey situation because legally you didn't actually have to pay it, but they're just not accepting your ability to do it because they don't want to sell to resellers. And so you have to make a decision, well, do I pay the sales tax or just not buy the items? Those are pretty much your options. And in those cases, it may make sense to buy it with sales tax and just eat the margin on it. Now, there is an alternative option. There's certain states that do allow you to get a refund for some of those those sales taxes. All right, so we've done research on a good chunk of states to see which states you can actually request those sales taxes back. And just based off of some of the ones, I'll give you a few states that for sure you can do it. Virginia, New Jersey's yes, Colorado's yes, Ohio's yes, North Carolina's yes, Massachusetts is a no, Indiana's a yes, Georgia's a no, California's a yes, Maryland's a yes, Florida's a no, Utah's a yes, Michigan I put on here kind of. When you're signing, you're saying you have approval from the seller, so that's one of those cases where it's kind of situation. New York you can. South Carolina is a no. Texas I know for sure you can. And I haven't done research on some of these other states because I've never been asked. Usually if I get asked on a specific state, that's when I do the research on it, and that's when we pop it in here. And so I've only done searches on 19 states. I think there's a total of 40 something states that do this. So I haven't done the research on half of them, but that gives you a pretty good list of a lot of the larger states that do have the ability to do it. Now, these processes differ based on what state it is, but the generalized process is that you fill the form with the state, and then you have to log every single purchase you made and be able to provide receipts for every single purchase that you made. So it is a cumbersome process to do this, and then you have to fill this out, send it in, you have to wait for approval from the state. In some states, it could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months to get it. And then you get a check back at some point, and that's just kind of how it works. And some states will issue you a refund against potentially state taxes that you owe for sales tax, which in theoretically you don't if you're just an eBay and Amazon seller. But that's the generalized principle on that. All right, so to kind of wrap one last thing up here is that once you do open up a sales tax account, you are now required to send in forms every single month, quarter, or annually. What happens when you get that big packet from the state of information, it will tell you how often you have to file. You're required to file on that frequency, and if you don't, you will start getting nastygrams from those states saying that you owe them money. So you'll want to make sure you start filing each of those on a regular basis. And what you're typically doing is you're putting on those forms, here's how much in sales I had, here's how much is exempt because Amazon or eBay collected all of the money off of those sales, which then makes your total balance zero. And those are forms that you will send into the state. A lot of them are electronic, relatively easy to do. If you need help doing those, we do offer that as a service to file those. But it says something that you easily could do yourself for free. But if you're like, I'm going to forget to do this, I don't want to do it, it is a service we provide. If you wanted to do that, just reach out to us and we'll be able to handle filing those specific returns for you. But it is relatively easy to do it. Just keep in mind that if you don't do those, you will get nastygram letters from the state saying you owe money, and then you have to deal with them, and it's a big rigmarole at that point. So I would strongly recommend start filing those on a regular basis once you get that. All right, that should pretty much cover this specific topic. If you have any additional questions regarding this, feel free to let us know. Thank you.